Hello, welcome back to the SE25's Finance Podcast. As usual, my name is Connor, and today I'm joined by Ben and Ollie.
Hello.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about our review of the Villa game and a preview of the Spurs game on Saturday. We're also going to be talking about Roy Hodgson's 2 years in charge, which is on today's date. And we also asked you to send in some questions last week, so we're going to be answering them throughout the episode and most of them towards the end. So probably just get straight into our thoughts on the Villa game, which was obviously a 1-0 win, pretty decent result, pretty good performance overall. Obviously, they went down to 10 men pretty soon into the second half with Trezeguet getting sent off. And obviously, the big talking point from that game was their disallowed goal right in the dying seconds of the game. So, quite a few talking points. Let's just start with Palace's performance. Obviously, another goal for Jordan Ayew. How good has he been this season?
It's been absolutely unreal. This is one of the questions we got in, literally asking how is he this good? And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what that man's done over the summer.
I think it's the African Cup of Nations that's done it.
Yeah, he did well at AFCON, and that's completely turned his fortunes around.
I mean, it's obviously given him a little boost of confidence, scoring those goals for his country, getting the team in the tournament as well. And I mean, it's a little bit ironic for us Palace fans because we were dying for a striker all summer, and we signed
him, and we were like, yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Like for backup, we were like, we need a first team striker because I still thought Benteke would be starting over him.
Yeah, same. So did I, to be honest. But for 2.5 million, and for a striker who was pretty average all last season, he's been like a revelation. And
he keeps it up all season. He is one of the bargains of. He's arguably the bargain of the league.
Definitely.
If he keeps it up all season,
he looks like he could be a top striker for us if he keeps up this form because he's improved massively in like his confidence on the ball. He looks so much more physically ready. It looks like he wants to get stuck in rather than last season. He just sort of wandered around up front, not really making that many runs.
Oh yeah,
He looks like a real deal.
His off the ball work's got so much better.
Definitely.
He fits into the way we play, which is really good because I can't think of a striker we've had who's actually fit in well since Benteke on the Big Sam.
Yeah, I agree.
And then before that, probably Murray in promotion season.
Yeah.
The only one who's had seasons for us this millennium has really been.
I mean, it's really been AJ or Glenn Murray have been like our main two as that sort of consistent strikers.
Yeah. It's early days though.
Yeah.
It's been 4 days, but he's shown the signs that he could be a quality asset for us.
Definitely. And yeah, I mean, one of the questions came from John T. CPSC, who said, "Why is IU so fucking good?" And honestly, I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. He just is, and hopefully he keeps it up all season because we do need goals in the team because that's something we've been lacking for a while. Is that threat up front because we've had people creating stuff on the wing.
We've been relying on Wilf and Townsend when he's on form for goals the whole time. So to actually have someone up there who scores is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Without having to rely on Wilf or Andros being hot or cold throughout the season.
Yeah.
It's obviously both of them are going through quite bad spells at the moment, and someone in IU and Schlupp as well, because I think he's done pretty well since he's come back into the side.
Yes.
Some players have to step up in their absence, and I think they've both done that really well.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the whole team was good, at least against Villa. I mean, I couldn't think of a single bad player on the day.
You've obviously got people who stand out, but
yeah, I mean, my standouts were probably, obviously Ayew. Probably, I think Wilf was really solid in the second half. He was creating quite a lot. I thought Luke was brilliant.
100%. He was.
I thought Joel Ward was great as well going forward. And obviously, it helped that Trezeguet got sent off on the left because it left Neil Taylor very exposed, and he's quite a weak fullback anyway. But when he hasn't got that support on the left,
we had the majority of the chances in the ball in the first half anyway. It's not like Villa actually had a sniff in the first half.
Yeah, we definitely sort of had the control of the game the whole time.
Yeah, we looked pretty dominant. And obviously, the other big talking point from that game is their disallowed goal, which I'm still not decided on.
No, I'm not either. The more I watch it, the more I think it's a goal. But then,
because
I think
there is
it
contact.
should have stood. In my opinion, I think it should have stood.
Yeah,
it looked like a
When you
dive.
think about it,
Live in the
we were the
moment.
much better team for the whole 90. We were the much better team for the whole 90 minutes. So if it had stood, we'd have felt very robbed by the whole thing.
oh, 100%. We could have easily won 2 or 3-0, but I think Tom Heaton was good in goal, and he obviously kept quite a few goals out for them. But yeah, we definitely.
That free kick, Luke took a good save.
Yeah,
and then Luke had his
yeah, I forgot about that.
And he made a great save for that too.
But yeah, we definitely deserved the win on the day. It was just the frustrating thing for me is watching that goal back and look at and see how poor our defending was. Like Greece is just running through the middle, no one's stopping him, and it's just like it's just poor. Like we've held on the whole game. They're down to 10 men. It's the last kick of the game, and we're just letting them run through us.
It's like two last-ditch tackles on the edge of the box to stop it.
Yeah, and
completely get the Villa frustration, like.
In the moment, it looked like the ref had pulled the play back for a free kick. When they scored, because like Grealish went down the edge of the box, and I was thinking, is that a penalty? Is it a free kick? What? Like,
I wasn't sure he'd given it all because all I saw was he blew his whistle and pointed towards like the Homestead end. That's all I saw. That's all I knew. I could see the Villa fans going mental, but apart from that, I had no idea what was going on. But we still got the 3 points, still got the win. I scored again. And we move on to obviously we've had an international break. England winning both games quite easily. I mean, the first one against Bulgaria was a pretty easy win, and the second one is Kosovo. I don't know what happened in the game.
The 5-3, yeah.
Don't know what happened there. I mean, poor defending all round from back four, but Jadon
What I
Sancho.
want to say about the England thing is obviously yesterday Kane missed a penalty, which takes us on nicely to.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that is a good sort of.
Hopefully that's still playing on his mind, and
yeah, because I mean, I wouldn't call Kane a confidence player, but if he has that sort of knot, then
any striker in the league it'd happen to 100%. If I went and missed a penalty for Ghana, it'd happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You'd expect his performance to start off.
Sort of what's happened to Benteke, where he missed that penalty against Bournemouth, and since that point, really, he's been out of form.
Yeah, he's not been in form really since the days of Big Sam, but that was.
I think that was a turning point.
That was the moment where it all went wrong and it didn't really get better.
Yeah.
I'd like to think Kane's the type of player that would struggle to score during a cold patch, and if that's the start of a cold patch, then we're playing against Tottenham at the right time.
Definitely.
Tottenham haven't started the season that well.
No, and they've now got Sanchez and Lo Celso both out, which is two big players.
And Winks, I think. And
Ndombele.
I think it's still
like half and half.
So they're short in midfield.
Yeah, they're short in midfield. I mean, they've got.
We've obviously got midfielders in good form. MacArthur's still doing pretty well. Luca's still doing pretty well. Kiate's been unreal.
Yeah.
Flip's going to do well, I think.
I mean, one of our questions is from Joe CPSC 01, and he says, "Is Maya good enough?" So he's obviously one of our more high-profile players, but has he been effective enough?
Yeah.
I think, he has for me. But we've got so many other good players in the team that he won't get a game.
He's not been played in position at all times, but still haven't seen anything to suggest MacArthur isn't deserving of his place overnight. I do think MacArthur's done better since Maya signed.
From Max's point of view, if you're being played in something you don't like playing, then you're going to be frustrated. You're not going to want to give 100% every game.
Yeah, but he's still playing well there. That's the point.
Yeah, he's still.
He said he enjoys playing there as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's obviously not his strongest position. His strongest position is probably on the left of a three in midfield.
The thing is, I don't think you can really overall, well, you can overall Roy, but I don't think we really should because a bit more later when we talk about the fact that it's been 2 years, but
that's the selection headache he's got in midfield though, because there's enough quality there to fill 2 or 3 Premier League midfields.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a solid midfield now. We've obviously got Camarasa who could also come into that mix. It's just hard to sort of solidify the three in midfield because we've got some good players, and obviously, I mean, Luke is a guaranteed starter pretty much, and Kouyate's played so well recently, and MacArthur seems to sort of
I still don't know how I feel about Luca as a captain, but I do think he's definitely a guaranteed starter for us.
Yeah, because if you think you take him out of our team, we lose our set piece threat. If we get a penalty, who's going to take it? Because we haven't got the best penalty takers at all, apart from Luca. And I think
Wilf doesn't take a bad penalty actually.
As much as he gets slated, like not caring enough sometimes. He is still so vital in that midfield, and if you look at his stats, like his defending stats and his passing stats, they're top quality. And I think it is sort of unfairly slated by some of our fans.
It's just on the occasional big game that he doesn't turn up. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I think, because we can mix it up a lot. Like, if we want to sit quite deep, we can just we can go with Kouyaté and Maka. But if we want to really attack the opposition, we could drop both, put Mara and Camarasa and just go for it. If we want to go full on attacking. Depends on how we set the team up.
And I'd like to think Kouyaté and Jimmy Mack are good enough going forward to not have that problem.
Yeah.
Because they both all of our midfield has quality.
I mean, I'm not sure I would change the team for Saturday. I think it's proved that it can play. Like,
I think really anyone can be dropped until someone starts losing their rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Townsend's been dropped this season, which is deserved because he hasn't been great for a while now. And apart from that, there's not really anyone in our team who's out of form. Like, everyone's playing quite well. I mean, PVA's been shaky, but he was still quite decent against United and Villa. So
PVA, I mean, I was probably his biggest critic tail end last season, but he's done all right so far. I'm not even just talking about that goal against United. I mean, he's played quite well ever since Sheffield.
So much more comfortable next to Gary Cahill. How much of a difference he's made to the defence.
Cahill's been a revelation for us.
Oh, definitely. He can be a massive bargain for us. Like, get him on a free, someone who's so experienced at the top level, who's won pretty much everything there is to win in football. It's just I think our fans sort of underplayed it a little bit when you see the name Gary Cahill, you think like, oh yeah,
he's literally only getting signed just to be like a mentor for someone like Sam Woods.
Yeah.
At the time, I saw it as our squad is quite old. Why are we signing a 33-year-old? But then, if it's only for 1 or 2 years, what difference does it make?
Exactly. You want someone who's going to make an impact right now. So obviously, it's all well and good like signing 19-year-olds who could have the potential to be good, like we did with Breederworld. But if you've got someone who's proven in the Premier League who can solidify that back four, then why not take the chance and even on a free transfer as well? So it's a good bit of business by us.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think our signings have been all right this year.
Yeah, I think they're all right. I think we're just a bit short at fullbacks, which is
of course.
The main reason I was frustrated come deadline day is because the owner said we
if PVA will get injured, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, the owner said we needed 2 fullbacks and we didn't sign one. So, I mean, we're past that now. We've got a good starting 11. It's just if
so
injuries
far.
do happen.
Hope we don't get injuries till January.
Yeah. You just got to pray we don't get injured. But yeah, just talking about Gyro, obviously I used the example of us signing a young, promising player. We signed him 2 years ago from Ajax, obviously under Frank de Boer. But we've got a question from Gyro's story. He says, "Will Gyro come good?" So what do you think? Will he come good, or will we just stay in the 23s and move on?
And I think this is. I can't remember where it was. I think because I remember home. Is Reedveld had a really good game that week. He had a very good game against them. But he was unreal. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see him at any point.
I mean, it's hard to talk about really because
I think he's going to be like Jordan March, but
he's one of those players you want to be good because he had so much potential coming from Ajax, one of the best academies in the world. Obviously, he's a Europa League winner at such a young age, and it's just he was great in that
last appearance
in City as well.
Final.
But it's just if you look at the side now, obviously we talked about our sort of over running midfield. Where's he going to get into that midfield, and where's he going to get into the defence as well? Because we've shown that he can't play as a
The
left.
thing is, he is literally defence and midfield very well covered in. Even if he got an injury crisis, I think he'd struggle.
Yeah,
exactly. I think he's sort of
he's one of those players that does well abroad. I don't think he doesn't work hard enough or suit the pace for the Premier League.
It is much a shame because I really wanted him to do well when he came here, but
yeah,
I just can't see it working out.
At the moment, I feel like this is just like like someone who's just doesn't dribble, but there's clearly talent there.
Yeah,
but it could be.
He still screams a Frank de Boer player, and why he wasn't shipped out straight away as soon as he left. Really, because obviously it's obvious Roy doesn't rate him. Because if he did, he'd be playing and not playing for the under-23s. And when he has played, he's not proved that he wants to work hard enough, in my opinion, anyway. To play.
I agree.
So I don't even want to say like a bad professional because I don't think he is. It's just the fact that really putting the effort in that I think is needed if he was going to try and make the breakthrough.
I think he's lacking confidence as well. Obviously, not much game time for the last 2 years, and he's played a lot for the under-23s. I think, obviously, with a lack of confidence, lack of game time, it's obviously affected him in such a big way that he can't really get into the main team now.
I mean,
so I think
he played all right against Colchester. Made a couple of mistakes.
It's probably best for him to leave in January. Probably just
definitely
for his sake, really.
Just try and get his career back on track before it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, Spurs on Saturday. I think we're all agreed that we would keep the same team. It's not really. There's not really much point in changing anything. Any sort of result predictions?
I'm gonna say it's hard because I feel like we've definitely got it in us to cause an upset.
I think it'll be a draw.
But
be a scrappy game. Tottenham have injuries coming in the back off an international break, and
I think it could be a Palace special when we lose 1-0 to Tottenham. But
yeah, ball goes through the goalkeeper's hands.
I reckon we can go there and get a point.
Yeah, I think so.
It'll be a good game.
I would say 1-1 would be is the result I go for. I think I will score again. I think Heung-min Son always scores against us, so he'll probably score for them. But
Ali might score a worldie again.
Yeah, you never know.
I think at some point we're gonna have to start expecting a clean sheet at every game, just because of how well we're defending. I think it'll be a 0-0 or we'll win with a clean sheet. That's how I see it, anyway.
We've got the best defensive record in the league so far. So
I don't see that changing.
Before clean sheet starts to become a normality and not like.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how good Liverpool City's defences are and how much money they spent on them, and our defence is pretty much. I mean, Joe Ward and Gary Cahill are both free transfers. Martin Kelly cost about 5 million. PVA was about 12. So compare that to
It was less than 5, I'm pretty sure.
Was it, or was it Schlupp who was sort of 12? I think
They were both 14, I think.
Similar price.
Yeah,
14 each or something.
but yeah, I mean, if you look at the contrast in sort of price and quality to like the top defence in the league, it's mental, and like to be defending this well. Obviously, Guaita's came in on a free as well, so
I'd say 100%. He's done very well so far this
he's
season.
brilliant so far.
That being said, it's only 4 games, and it could all come crashing down when we lose 4-0 on Saturday, for example.
Say, with injuries,
could all go wrong, but it's just
completely
happened.
We've also got Sacco to come back.
Everybody sort of hit form at the moment. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the next thing I wanted to talk about is obviously today. It's been 2 years since Roy Hodgson took charge of our club. So over the last 2 years,
I remember the day.
He's done.
Done very well. He's done very well.
Considering my first initial thoughts of Hodgson, I was thinking almost negative straight away, thinking, we're going down, Euro 16 all over again, Benteke on corners.
I think we all remember where we were and what we were doing when we found out De Boer had gone and Hodgson was coming in.
Yeah.
I got home from college. It was like, yeah.
Was it a Monday after the Burnley game?
It was Monday afternoon.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that would have been my first day of sixth form.
It was. I just remember looking at it, thinking, "What are we doing?"
Yeah, I sort of thought that. But
then I thought, "Why are we getting Hodgson in?" I was like, "The only good thing about him is the fact that it means Freeman isn't going to take charge." Because obviously he only got appointed a couple of weeks later.
Yeah. I mean, I remember looking at the managers at the time who could come in, and there was names like Mancini sort of floating around. I was like, oh yeah, I'd take Mancini at Palace. Then you see Roy Hodgson, you're like, really? But if you look at what he's done over the last 2 years, obviously last season there were quite a few questions asked of him. The main thing being his like tactical decisions when with regards to substitutions.
Making subs very often, like.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing for me is if you see the amount of big teams we've beaten over the last 2 years, it's mad the amount of games we've won that that are like massive games you're never going to forget really. I mean, like even last season we had the City game.
Provided us with some great wins to remember.
Yeah.
Talking Chelsea at home, Brighton at home, City away twice,
Arsenal away,
Leicester at home.
So many.
United away. So many times so many games.
There's been so many just like exciting games that we've lost as well. Like Man United at home with the Matic last minute screamer, the Liverpool away last year.
Yeah.
Things like that where we've competed against the best teams in the league.
It's almost like a contrast with Hodgson because we have these massive wins and then we have these like awful losses as well. Like if you look at the Brighton games last season and the Watford games last season, they were all just awful games. But we also had those big wins against big teams that sort of made up for it in a way.
We even had the ability to play really badly and still dig out a win when it mattered, which was a big thing, which we kind of struggled with last year because if you think about how many games we lost by so many small margins where we could have finished higher in the table.
Liverpool are the only team we haven't beaten under Roy.
Yeah.
Could be wrong in thinking that, but off the top of my head, I think we've beaten everybody else.
We've not beaten Tottenham under Roy, I don't think.
Yeah, no, we haven't.
Well, we have in the cup, so that still counts.
Oh, yeah.
Right, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, one of the questions comes in from Roy on Hafiz on Twitter, who says, Hodgson's successor, who do you think we will get in after he leaves?
I don't know. I think they said they were going to have crunch talks today, Roy and Parrish, and I think the outcome will probably be he'll say, "I'm going to go at the end of the season," and
it wouldn't surprise
I
me.
don't, I don't really think we can predict who Hodgson's successor will be.
I think it's genuinely dependent on what transfer budget he gets, what the club is saying rather than what he wants. Because if Parrish goes, oh yeah, we're going to have a £60 million budget next year, buy the players you want, along with Doug Friedman, he's going to go, oh well, I fancy a crack at this for another 2 years.
I mean,
Of course,
I would say end of this season is probably the best time for him to go because he's had a decent 2 years. He's obviously getting older now, but he's still putting in a good sort of performance as a manager. But you don't want to drag it out too long until it gets really stale, like Arsene Wenger did. So
yeah,
I'd say
it's his thing. I
end
think
of the
what
season.
he'll have basically he'll have had more or less, apart from 4 games. He'll be 4 games away from 3 seasons with his boyhood club. Such a good way to just bow out your managerial career.
Yeah,
so I think
it's the most stability we've had in the manager for a while.
But
yeah, I mean, in terms of replacements, I mean, personally, I would love to see Jose Mourinho at Palace. And
we all would, but it's just, is it going to happen?
yeah, that's the main thing. I know he said he wants to challenge, he wants a project, but is Palace a project or is he just...
Maybe in a few years' time.
Yeah.
Wash your mind back to summer 2015. Would you have said before the end of the season Rafa Benitez will go to Newcastle?
Not at all.
Exactly. So never rule anything out.
Exactly.
Mourinho could easily. Of the question, I don't think it'll happen. I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying potentially.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be my ideal replacement. I'm not really sure who else I would. I mean, I would have probably taken the Cowley brothers before he went to Huddersfield earlier in the week.
I'd say that's too much of a risk, I think.
I know, but it's just they look promising at a smaller team, which obviously it's a risk to throw them right in at the deep end with a Premier League team. But
I remember when Emma de Boer got sacked, my first choice was Chris Wilder, and obviously he's done pretty well from that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know.
Would you say it's up to Roy to help find a replacement? Say this season, alongside Parrish, he helps to find his replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. I feel like we can't even talk about who Hodgson's potential successor will be until he goes. When he goes, we'll know who's on the market.
We don't know who's going to be in or out of a job until the end of the season.
Time comes, so you can't really line anything up without getting either an international manager in or
someone. Yeah, what if someone I'm trying to think of an example.
Say Martinez wanted a Premier League job.
Yeah.
I mean, even if say Sean Dyche got relegated with Burnley and he wanted to move back to the Premier League, that would be someone I would take. But it's obviously very dependent on what happens this season. So yeah, it's hard to say right now. But yeah, my ideal replacement would definitely be Jose. No idea if he wanted to come to
yeah.
I mean, the circumstances of where he lives and stuff suits us. He lives in London still, I think.
Yeah.
And he's working in England at the moment. So it just depends where the finances lie, because obviously.
He's still living in London. That's a big pulling factor.
Definitely.
Because he could easily say, "Oh, I want this much money as a wage," and that affects us what we can spend, and then actually what he wants as a budget. But then you've got the thing of his contacts in football, who he knows, and if the manager gets replaced, the director of football has to change as well, because obviously if you've got clash of interests, it's not going to work.
He'll probably bring in a few sort of backroom staff that he had at United and Chelsea. I think he has this team behind him. He'll probably bring to Palace as well. But yeah, I mean, all in all, we're looking at.
If Roy goes, Ray will go.
Yeah, that's the thing because a lot of.
I feel like it would be a clean slate in the back room.
Would it be a case of Roy moves upstairs or?
Yeah, he might just retire. He might just enjoy his life from now on.
I think he'll probably retire, to be honest.
Yeah.
Management.
We'll wait on the outcome of that, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, if we're looking at sort of Roy's performance as a whole, I've already pretty much said like he's had a decent run for the last 2 years. Obviously, it's sort of been very up and down. We haven't been very consistent at all. But in terms of the managers we've had since we've been promoted, where would you rank him amongst those?
Second.
If I had to rank based on like overall, I've always said since promotion our best time was 2015
Yeah,
because different
yeah,
grade, and
definitely.
then the worst time probably even this millennium, 2016, where we won like 4 games. Even in 2010 when we nearly went bust, at least
Yeah,
there
exactly.
was a real team spirit around the whole thing.
Yeah, 2016 was an awful year for us. I mean,
Top
Zero
five.
goals, one
What are your top
defeat,
5 Palace
yeah.
managers since we got promoted then?
right. So for me, I would say probably we're top. Just in terms of like raw performance, he's been almost consistent match for most. Like, he's given us, I think, probably the best thing that's been from. Then I'd advise second. Obviously, short stint in charge. In that time, we had some great games. He got the team in shape. Now he sort of he defends out. Obviously, there are a few shit games like the 4-0 against Sunderland, but there were
Yeah,
also
that was
games like the 3-0 against Arsenal. So yeah, I'll put Big Sam second. Then third, I'll put probably Pulis. Um, I mean, he won manager of the season. Uh, a lot of people forget about that as well because he literally saved us that season because Holloway was dreadful.
although it was so out of his depth in the Prem.
Yeah, definitely. And then Pulis came in, turned everything around, had that amazing run towards the end of the season.
True, if
And
he hadn't done what he'd done, we'd probably all be ranking him top.
yeah, I agree because he probably made the biggest impact, like a manager coming into the club.
You think more of an impact than Big Sam?
I'd say so, yeah, because we were in such a bad position. I know we were in a bad position when Big Sam came in, but we were in such like a sort of
But the position we were in when Roy came in.
True.
yeah, we're
That's
such
another
a
thing.
sort
Like,
of poor
fair
man's
play.
form. We're like the small fish in a big pond, and it was just yeah, we were so out of our depth at the time. We just bought too many players under Ollie. Pulis came in, sorted the team out, put out sort of like a solidified starting 11. And yeah, he won manager of the season, which sort of speaks volumes when Brendan Rodgers nearly won Liverpool the title.
You look at him. Like Parish gets a lot of stick, but you can't deny he knows what he's doing when it comes to appointing managers. Pulis was a
Mm,
perfect appointment. Pardew at first was a perfect appointment.
Still held on for him for too long.
And Roy's ended up being a perfect appointment.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, for me, I'd put Big Sam first, just because of
Probably,
like how quickly he
I think
galvanised the team.
Yeah, it's hard because
with Ollie on that one, yeah, I think I'll probably put Big Sam
yeah, because
first.
I had this conversation a few months ago and I put Big Sam top as well. But I feel like I don't know. I feel since because our form this year as well in 2019 we've been like I think it's fourth in the league overall, third.
I think we're third now. I think it is
Yeah,
just City and Liverpool.
To be fair, if Hodgson had left after 17-18, I would have put him top just because of the circumstances.
yeah, definitely.
If he only did one season, then yeah.
I agree. Um,
Not
yeah,
season bad, it was that
say that again.
if that was all you're judging him off, he didn't really put a foot wrong.
No, no. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, because we did start the season so badly, and to be in that much of a disadvantaged position come Christmas with some of the
Essentially gave the
relegation
rest of the
games.
league a 7-game head start, and we still managed to
Yeah,
finish mid-table.
exactly. I mean, our run of form like in April, May was unbelievable. It's probably the best I've ever seen Palace play in the Premier League, to be honest.
Even
That
even
sort of
even
what they've
October
done.
even October to January was pretty crazy. Unbeaten in 11.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that season sort of gets forgotten about, really.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, people don't sort of like realise how good Roy was when he came in and how much he sort of he made players that were like average under the ball brilliant under him. One of them being Loftus Cheek, who in his first few games he showed signs of being good, but he never really like had that consistency. And as soon as Roy came in, Loftus Cheek looked like a completely different player. And towards the end of the season, he was probably one of our players of the season.
I think
Um,
Roy's 100% done. See, this thing, I feel like with Roy, he's a good mentor. He's really good at nurturing
yeah,
players. If he wants a player to do well,
he's a good man manager. Like
he's really good at that.
he's good at in a way, it's similar to what Guardiola does. That he sort of finds players' best style of play. Like he converted Fabian Delph to a left back, and he won the league with Fabian Delph at left back. And he's moved Bernardo Silva into a sort of central midfield role when he was a right winger. So if you look at Roy doing that, in that sort of run of games towards the end of 17-18, Jimmy Mack was playing on the right, Ruben Loftus-Cheek was playing on the left, and they're both central midfielders.
Had Luca, and yeah, he played a 4-4-2 with 4 centre mids because obviously we had Luca and
Yeah.
Dubai in the middle.
And we were playing with Will Fernandez up front, who were converted winners. And we
Which
were
was the
still
most
in the league.
unorthodox system, and it
It
somehow we
worked.
really managed to make
Yeah,
it
it
work.
worked. So yeah, I think yeah, it's a toss up between sort of Big Sam and Roy at the top. But I think if you look at their sort of length of their spells compared to each other, then Roy's had a longer time, and if it makes you think if Big Sam was here for 2 years, would he have had the same impact that Roy has had?
Um,
I don't think he would have. I think under Big Sam we would have stagnated.
Yeah, that's what makes me sort of
skeptical.
feel like I could put Roy at the top instead of Big Sam.
It's one of them things you just don't know who Big Sam would have signed. Because obviously, I imagine Big Sam. We wouldn't have appointed a director of football. Big Sam would have had more of a pulling power over transfers, saying, "I want this player," and Parish would have gone, "Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem."
Mm.
Just because of who he
I
signed
think that would have been
January.
his one transfer window.
Mm.
Admittedly, we needed bodies over the line anyway, but
Yeah, he sorted out the club's transfers for 3 years, arguably. When he first.
yeah.
Yeah,
Had either of you heard of Luca when Big Sam bought him?
not at all.
No.
And exactly. Look what's happened.
Exactly. He's one of our most underrated signings. The sort of turnaround from him being an unknown midfielder coming from Greece to being like
Elite captain.
captain and like one of our most important players, if not our most important player. It's mental. And he was such a bargain as well.
And also got Saka on loan, so
Yeah, exactly.
and he pretty much became the mainstay in the back line.
Apart from when he's
Imagine had to bore out Saka, I don't think he would have been sacked.
yeah, I agree. But would Saka work in a three at the back? That's the question.
I don't know. Because to be honest, if we wanted to, we could play 3 at the back now with Saka, Cahill, and
Yeah, we could.
Kelly or Tompkins.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it'd work.
Even a shout at Riedewald in the middle if you wanted.
Yeah, but
It'd mean
I
Ward would have to go
would
wing
not
back.
play him at centre back after his performance against Huddersfield.
Good point.
God, yeah. That is
That was one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
our season ticket. That is I think that's probably the worst individual performance I've seen at Selhurst.
I mean, apart from PVA against Brighton last season, that's
Okay, yeah, that's a good shout actually.
Yeah. But yeah, before we start talking about Roy for too long, obviously we've still got the questions to answer. So over the last week, you've been sending us questions on Twitter at SC25 Finest if you want to follow us. In case you already don't know why you're not. So the first one comes in from George Roy, who says thoughts on Wilf. So it's quite a general question, but what are your thoughts on Wilf?
I'm assuming this is mainly referring to the
Whole
situation
saga.
he's in at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
To be honest, I don't. It's divided at the moment on him. There's people who, calling him Judas, saying get out of the club and shit like that. And there's people who just refuse to criticise him.
yeah,
When he first handed in his transfer request, I was thinking,
Yeah.
is that him doing it the day before the window ends just
Yeah.
to stir things up when he hasn't done it all summer? And I wasn't sure at first because I just thought, oh well, I think nothing of it. It's someone stirring something.
If you look at the news that's come out today about him breaking ties with Will Salthouse's agent, it
Yeah.
makes you think that maybe it wasn't him actually handing in a transfer request. Maybe it was his agent trying to.
But then you look at his behaviour on the pitch and you think you still have that doubt in your mind that says he's throwing a strop and playing for a move away or playing like that for a move away.
I don't like, obviously, even with what's come out earlier regarding Salthouse, down in my mind that I think Wilf wants to go.
Yeah, I think it does as well.
It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to be professional about it and just
Play his football.
just throw a strop.
He definitely has the right to feel like he deserves bigger than Palace because he does. He's obviously like
He's one of the best. He's one of the best wingers in the league.
Yeah, definitely. And he could easily play for any of the top four teams. I mean, obviously now Liverpool and City are both very good wingers. He probably struggle to get into those teams. But if you're talking about Spurs, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, I say you get into those four teams, and he can easily move to one
To
of
be
those.
honest, I think Chelsea will probably be the ones who go for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Chelsea, they could definitely agree a deal with us if they offered us either Loftus-Cheek or Batshuayi. I think Loftus-Cheek's a bit more of a stretch because
I think Batshuayi is probably the one who's more likely because Lampard doesn't rate him.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I'm sort of I'm honestly I'm still going to back Wilf because he's still a Palace player. He's been probably our best player ever. So
Yeah, he's definitely in that conversation.
We can't just forget about him because of one transfer request. He's still one of our top players ever. So yeah, I don't see a problem with him. I just want him to improve his performances on the pitch, and I want him to be more of a professional off the pitch. Is the only thing I say.
Even on it sometimes. See him throwing drops, not tracking back. Or saying that Will for 50% is still influential to the team.
Yeah, definitely. Next question comes from ADCPFC. And to be honest, CPFC Jacobs has a pretty similar question. So the first one is, have we got a good chance of Europa League? And the second one is realistic finishing position. So we can sort of tie those two in together. I mean,
I'm going to tie it together in a blunt sense, and I'll go a bit more in depth. But do I think we'll get Europa League? No. And realistic finishing position, I'm going to say somewhere between 9th and 12th.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say sort of. I'd say sort of.
Which is mental because if you rewind to this time last month when we did the first pod, I had us to get relegated. So
yeah, it's mad.
I think
it's the first we'll go to the season as well. To have that much of a turnaround in that short space of time is promising.
I think we'll finish just outside the the mini league of teams, the Everton, the West Ham, the Wolves, and the Leicester. I think we'll finish just outside there, so 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
I reckon those four have invested quite a lot, so I doubt we'll. The only thing which makes me think we could potentially break that and finish in the top 10 over one of them is Wolves look like they're going to make a go of the Europa League now. Their squad's still very thin.
Yeah, I think we've
got out of their players. I think they'll make a good run of it. They'll probably get to they could even go as far as quarterfinals or something.
Yeah.
If they put all their eggs in the Europa basket, but it will mean they'll finish 15th in the league.
Yeah, because they've got a very, very thin squad. like their bench still looks quite shaky. It's quite inexperienced. So yeah, I mean that would be interesting, probably dropping out in the top 10. But I'd like to think they have a good chance at getting top 10 this season. I mean, we've wanted to finish there for the last 3 seasons. We've had the potential to finish top
Only
10.
finished in the top 10. I think in the Premier League era, we finished in the top 10 once, and that was 5 years ago, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was 15. But yes, I can't just in Europe. I'd love us to because I would love to see Palace in Europe. I've always said that.
That's all I want. All I want is to see us in Europe one day.
Yeah. I don't care if we're in Kazakhstan or Turkey or something. I still go. It's like birds flew away. I still go.
It's all away. Let's get it.
Yeah. But yeah, next question comes from Saucy Sane, who says, in the next 5 seasons, including this one, where is the highest you think you'll finish in the league? Which is quite similar, but it's obviously talking about more long term.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's such a broad range, because obviously 5 years is a long time.
Definitely.
Stoke went from finishing 8th to being relegated in 5 years, so you don't know.
That's the thing, like, if you look at teams like Stoke, Swansea, West Brom, they've all finished top 10 since they've been in the Premier League and they've all been relegated recently.
You look at us, 5 years, 2010 to 2015, we went from brink of extinction to 5th of Christmas in the space of 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. So 5 years is a long time, and it just massively depends on circumstances. Like, yeah, it just depends on what happens in the club.
A massive catalyst will be because obviously, regardless of whether or not Roy stays on next year, but so.
Let's say we have an ideal scenario and we have a realistic scenario. What would your two be?
I mean, I don't know.
In an ideal world, Roy retires on high. We get in a great manager, and we start to show ambition. The new manager, let's say it's Jose, for example. It's not realistic, but it is.
In terms of league position, no. Like, say we start finishing in the top half more consistently over the next 5 years. But
yeah, I'd like to say I'd like to say 7.
Yeah.
From battling to try and get into the Europa League in the next Stoke, it literally could be anything.
So we could be the next Everton in 5 years. That's like the ideal thing for me.
Yeah, it very much depends on investment and like what happens in the next couple of years. It's just
who replaces Roy. That is the big thing for me.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to say at this moment, but yeah, we just have to see what happens really. And I mean, this season's looking promising so far, but we're only 4 games in, so we have no idea what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, next question comes from CPSC Alfie, who says realistic signings next summer. Again, it's next summer, and we're still quite a long way away from that.
I engage it because obviously someone could break onto the scene haven't even heard of or has played like 2 games for their club. They could then
or a youth player
break into the first team and become £50 million player by the end.
I mean, look at Joao Felix. This time last year, no one had ever heard of him, and he just got £100 million into
The only reason anyone knew who Felix was last year was because he was someone you pick up in career mode. That was it. And now he's what was it 100 million he went for?
I think so, yeah. At least 100 million. I think.
125 million euros or something.
It's mad for a player who's had one good season. I know he's obviously got massive potential, but it's like on Mbappe as well. He went for 200 million after having one decent season for Monaco.
But to be fair, that one does look like it's going to work out.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, in terms of us signing players,
there is a similar question, isn't there?
There is.
I mean, we can talk about positions we want to strengthen, but it's quite hard to gauge specific individuals because I don't know who's available. With
I mean, if we talk about Wolf leaving, who would you get in as a replacement at this very moment? Who would you get in as a replacement?
I would have loved Ismail Sar, but obviously he's Watford now. For a while, he would be my choice if Wolf left in the summer. I've been saying that since February.
I've kind of had my heart set on Jonathan Bamba from Lille, but I think he'll be quite expensive.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, it would be either Jonathan Bamba or Steven Bergwijn from PSV.
Yeah.
But those two are quite ambitious. I mean, obviously, we'd have quite a lot of money, but it depends where you finish in the league, obviously. But I mean, those two would be my ideal replacements at the moment for Wilf if he leaves.
Or you go for someone from the Championship.
It's too much of a risk to replace such a
much of a risk, and even if they come good, they're probably not gonna be able to fill that void. What we could do is buy 2 wingers from the Championship. As it is anyway. Even with
I think if we bought Ollie Watkins and say I'm not sure who else is in there. Say Ollie Watkins and Ben Rama from Brentford, would you take that as a Wilf replacement?
I think it'd be all right. Like, I mean, who actually really great. I think he's quality.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we'd be better off just getting a straight replacement for Wilf, like someone of similar quality who's going to make an instant impact. So, I mean, if we say send him to Chelsea and we get Batshuayi as part of the deal, and then we get a wing on top of that, I feel like that would be the ideal sort of window.
He's been playing so well, so
yeah, exactly. And it just depends. Again, like it's hard to speak about something that's so far in the future because we don't know what's going to happen between now and then. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'd like to happen really. Is just get a replacement for Wilf when he probably will leave next summer, if we're honest.
I can't see him. Yeah.
There's a question.
Too far.
Yeah, I mean, there's a question from Tactic Toe who says, selling Zaha January and the summer. He's lost many Palace fans' admiration since throwing his toys out of his pram. Do you agree with the statement? He's throwing his toys out of the pram.
I definitely see where he's coming from.
Not as much as he could have, but he has.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been. I don't think he's dealt with it the best or the worst, really. Like,
no.
Better, but I feel like he also could have gone off full Dimitri.
I feel like our fans massively overreact. Like when Wan-Bissaka went to United, and there was that picture of him circulating on Facebook about him in a United shirt. I think that was a bit of an overreaction as well because I don't think he was actually his account in the end.
Well, it didn't end up being his actual account.
No. So it's just, yeah, I think our fans just sort of took it the wrong way. I mean, we know he wants to leave. Like we've known it for a while now. And
he's not making it a secret either. Like.
No, I guess we just sort of want to like stay like in the night. He wants to stay at Palace.
We don't want to believe it, sort of thing.
No.
But the fact he wants to go, I just want him to give his all for the club while he's still.
Once he's still a Palace player, he needs to play for the team rather than play for himself.
Getting paid £120,000 a week, the least you can do is throw everything at him while he's still there.
But back to the question, like January or summer, I'd say summer. Preferably, I'd say
rather sell him in the summer.
Yeah, I think it's too much of a risk to send him in January when we've still got half season to play, and he's such an important player for us.
Getting a replacement in January is so much harder than getting a replacement in summer.
It's a much shorter window, and players are probably more settled in January, less likely to move in January. So yeah, I'd say wait till the summer. I'd say wait till Chelsea have got rid of their transfer ban, because that's if we're selling to a Premier League club, that's the place I'd like him to go the most, especially if we've got
because we can get Mitchie involved.
If we've got Mitchie or Reece James involved, then I would definitely take that. Any questions we haven't answered yet? The last one comes from Palace Alfie again, who says, predict our player of the season.
There's a lot of
one
options to
really.
play. It could be someone like Kelly could come out and
Yeah, it could be anyone. I mean, obviously, so far it's been Jordan Knight probably.
I think Cahill will be player of the season.
Cahill's definitely
Cahill
someone to
could be
keep an eye on.
definitely in the shout. I mean, Guaito could definitely be in the shout as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Arte's been very good. Shots been very good.
I'm gonna say at this moment in time, I'm gonna say Vicente Guaito gets Palace player of the season. I think also getting the Premier League team this season.
Looking
I'll say
ahead, I'm looking ahead, but like at the moment, it is definitely. At the moment, I think we can all agree it's IU, but
definitely.
something in my head is just telling me that Luke is going to go through a really, really good patch of form.
Mm.
Sort of like, I don't know, not over Christmas and New Year. Like for a couple of months, he'll just be one of. He'll do unreal. It'll stick in everyone's mind, and Luke will win player of the season. Also, he's captain, so he'll get votes just for that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna stick with Guaito. I have a feeling he's gonna be, like a sort of like Speroni was like when he won. I think it was 4 in a row.
He's 3 or 4 in a row, but he's.
Yeah.
Let's face it, this year, 'cause this will probably be his last season. Unless Wolf wins it this year, Jules has still got the most Palace Player of the Year awards.
Yeah.
3 in a row, and then one after promotion. I think Wolf won 3 in a row as well. No, 2 in a row.
Yeah. I mean, Ollie, have you got someone you think is going to be back this season?
I said Cahill. I think I'm still going to go with Cahill.
Yeah, he could definitely be a shout. I mean,
He's done very well so far.
Yeah.
He deserves to stay in the team for as long as possible. So
Yeah.
I think Sacco and Cahill will be the partnership we'll be having when everyone's fit.
Yeah, it's weird to say that because I like James Tompkins so much. He's been so good for us.
He's been very good ever since we bought him. I think.
The Brighton games last season, he's been.
I mean, he bought both of those, and that's where I think Cahill comes in. Because Cahill, he's won everything there is to win at club level. He's everything about big games. Proper old-fashioned centre-half. He's the person you want for both games against Brighton. Every week anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just another question. Like, it's too far in the future to say. But I mean, I'm gonna stick with Guaito. And yeah, I think that's all the questions done. So yeah, I think just wrap it up there. Obviously, next week we'll be talking about our thoughts on the Spurs game, and I think the game after that is Wolves on.
Wolves at home, yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday 22nd.
Are we all going to that?
Yes.
Missing it. It's during my freshers week.
Oh, that's understandable.
Then I'll be partying instead.
Yeah.
God, I'm not doing a train journey on after Saturday, no way.
Yeah.
Fair enough, mate.
But yeah, that's another episode done. Thank you for listening. Share around, tell your friends, family, all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you for listening.